All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very next episode of How To. In today's installment, we're going to learn how to use the hexatonic scale and the ninth. Let's get started. Roll credits. What is a hexatonic scale? Now, technically, a hexatonic scale is just a scale that has 6 tones until the octave repeats. But the hexatonic scale we're going to build today is actually going to be based on the minor pentatonic scale, and we're going to add the ninth. So what that's going to look like for us is we're going to use our regular E minor pentatonic, starting on 12-15, 12-14, 12-14, 12-14, 12-15, and 12-15 of the E, A, D, G, B, and E strings respectively. Now, the little pattern I'm going to show you is going to add the 14th fret of the E string. This is the note F sharp. This is a ninth, an octave plus a second, above our tone or our tonic E. Now, the pattern I'm going to give you, you'll see it on the board, is going to add the ninth here on our E string right after the G, and then again here on the descending pattern back this way. So it's going to be like this. Again. Now, the other place we can add the ninth that is sort of within this scale is going to be the 11th fret of our G string. So now you have 3 places where we can add that ninth to our E pentatonic scale. Now, what are the consequences of this? So obviously the first one is a melodic consequence, which we're going to talk about second. Let's talk about the harmonic consequences. So since we're adding the tone F sharp, we can automatically think about all our chords in the natural minor key of E minor, which has 1 F sharp. Any chords that involve that F sharp, we can now use that ninth in that scale pattern quite effectively over one of those chords. Now, in the key of E minor, we get 3 chords that use the tone F sharp. The first one is obviously F sharp diminished. The second one is going to be D major. And the last chord will be our B minor. In an E minor blues context or an E minor rock context, you're most likely to get the either B minor or the D major in that setting. So anytime one of those chords shows up, you can go ahead and hammer away at that ninth. Think about the song "It's Good to Be King" by Tom Petty. Then E minor, A minor, followed by D. Comes our ninth. That's just one example of where the ninth will work really well. Now that we have an idea of what the ninth can do to our scale and our chords, like harmonically, let's take a look and see what kind of effects, what kind of things we can make happen melodically. And I want to look at 3 examples. The first one being the very ending of Drop Dead Legs, the solo from Edward Van Halen. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to roll it back. I'm going to start right on that. Let's just take a listen to it, and I'm going to point it out. So at the very end, you hear him. But very distinctly, you get that ninth. Right, so we're in the key of D minor there. Right. So he's really hammering away at that ninth, and it sounds cool. It just sounds out there. And I think that's a kind of a common thing with the ninth. It just makes it sort of sound a little more out there. It just puts a little more coolness to it. Okay, the next example, we're going to listen to part of the opening of Eric Johnson's Cliffs of Dover. Good enough. That's all we need right there at the very beginning. One more time. But you get that ninth. And he keeps playing all around that. It's a very common pattern he does too. Does something like this. But he really likes to hammer away at that ninth up there too. Again, that ninth just sounds out there. The last example we're going to look at is Hendrix Purple Haze. Now, of course, I can't actually play a recording, but if we look at the sort of beginning for the solo Purple Haze where he really starts to get into it, we get this figure right here. What I want to point out here is that's just going from the 7th, you guessed it, that's our F sharp, that's our 9th right there. All the way up an octave from there. And you get that. So you notice he doesn't, where we would think you would probably get something like that. We end up getting the 9th there. So there we got 3 really awesome examples of how to use the hexatonic scale in all, yes, rock settings, but I think 3 fairly different songs and quite a different context too. You just have to get out there and try it, but I would say to really, to get comfortable doing it, just make sure you're practicing the scale I gave you and getting that turnaround at the top. And I would end on the octave when I come back down too, so something like that, okay? Now, I would encourage you to also take a look at the solos that we talked about and learning as much of them as you possibly can. The Cliffs of Dover, and they're all a pretty tall order if I'm being honest, so I'm going to go ahead and play out over one of my backing tracks and demonstrate the 9th a little bit. But before I head out of this video, I want to say that, again, at 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away the Joyo Zip Amp. If you haven't seen my review of that, I thought it was a really great review. It was a lot of fun to make. And so that'll be cool. I'm about, I think, 70 or so subscribers away. So I don't know. Hopefully things keep growing and we get there. I'm still a little beside myself that I got like 430 subscribers as of now. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos that I'm making. And honestly, I'm having a blast making these things, and it's fun to talk about things that I'm really passionate about. So anyways, I hope everybody is doing well, surviving, and just keeping it together. Remember, always be excellent to each other. Party on.